Welcome to 365 Language Planet. This is Let's Speak English and Nihongo, the conversation practice live stream. Before we start, let's look at this month's 365 language stars, moons, and planets. So far this month, we have 3 stars, K Workshop, Takesh, and YO. Way to go. And 3 moons, A Hybrid, Grandma K, and Kan Mama. Nice job. And 2 planets, Takanona and Charming. Nice job. If you want to become 365 Language Planet, all you need to do is share an idea in the chat or in the comments. So, let's begin. 始めましょう. The theme of Let's Speak English and Nihongo Live, episode 55, is anger. 日本語で怒り. The first question of tonight's show is, do you often get angry? 日本語であなたはよく怒られますか? Do you often get angry? I would say for me, I don't often get angry, but I sometimes get angry. How about you? Do you often get angry? あなたはよく怒りますか? That's kind of tough to say. Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. You have 4 minutes. 4分間あります. The question is, do you often get angry? あなたはよく怒りますか? Watashi ni wa amari. Oh, Charming! Thank you for joining tonight's show. No, I seldom get angry. Nice vocabulary. Seldom is good. That's great. I'm happy to hear that. And thank you so much for joining tonight's show. It's good to see you again. Seldom is a great vocabulary, great word to use. I seldom get angry. I don't often get angry is okay too. Hey, Grandma K, thank you for joining tonight's show. Do you often get angry? あなたはよく怒りますか? Please let me know in the chat or in the comments. You can write your answer in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. Do you often get angry? あなたはよく怒りますか? I definitely, as I said, I sometimes get angry. But how about you? 私は時々怒ります. でもよく怒りません. Grandma K says, I used to be. Oh, yeah, me too. I think I used to get angry more often as well. I'm happy. That's good. That's great news, Grandma K, that you changed. You don't often get angry anymore. That's great. All right. Why? Oh, thank you for joining tonight's show. No, I don't often get angry. Perfect. Perfect. That's great. Um, yeah. Sometimes, in English, you can say, I don't often get angry, and you can also say, I don't usually get angry. If and then maybe some people maybe never get angry. They're just happy all the time, every day. That would be never get angry. And then on the flip side, you can say, yeah, I often get angry. I get angry almost every day. I get angry all the time. I'm always angry, you could say, for maybe, if that's the case. But not me. All right. Well, if you're still typing, please continue, and you can share your answers in the chat or in the comments anytime. But now, let's move on to the next section. So now, you can write a new question in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに新しい質問を書いてください。You have 4 minutes. 4分間あります。Now, if you want, you can write a question about the topic of tonight's show, which is anger. Or you can write a question about anything. Please enjoy making a question about anything you want to make it about. All right, YO says, when do you get angry? Great question. How about you, YO? When do you get angry? Great question. I would say sometimes I get angry when I play video games. And sometimes I get angry I would say, of course, there's different levels of anger. A little angry, very angry. So sometimes I get a little angry when I'm teaching, especially kids' lessons. But, how about you, Io? Charming says, when you feel angry, what are you doing? Great question. Well, like I said, sometimes I'm playing games, and sometimes I'm teaching, and I would say, I think those are the big two. How about you, Charming? When you feel angry, what are you doing? What are you doing? Please let me know in the chat or in the comments. Okay, Takesh, thank you for joining tonight's show. Have you been angry about anything lately? Great question. Yeah, I'm often angry. That's one more situation is the news. Like when I check the news, that often makes me angry. So yes. How about you, Takesh? Have you been angry about anything lately? Please let me know in the comments or in the chat. Okay, Charming says, when I feel angry, I count number 1, 2, 3 to 10. Nice idea, Charming. I always recommend too, you can say, how about you? As a question. Like for me, when I feel angry, I try to breathe. Usually, breathing is good for me. Taking a long, deep breath. I like to breathe. Great sentence. All right. Well, if you're still typing, please continue, and you can share your new questions in the chat or in the comments anytime during or after the show. But now let's move on to the next question of tonight's show, which is, what makes you upset? 日本語であなたはよく怒りますか? Oh no, this is a little bit different. Oh, no. that's not the question. What? Okay, so 何があなたを怒らせるのですか? 怒らせる。何があなたを怒らせるのですか? What makes you upset? Sometimes for me, when I make a mistake, that makes me upset. Like this case, I made a mistake. I'm a little upset, a little angry. But how about you? What makes you upset? 何があなたを怒らせるのですか? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. You have 4 minutes. 4分間あります. I think sometimes when I have a disappointing result, that makes me upset too. So I was like, when I'm talking about like teaching, sometimes I make a teaching plan, especially for my kids' lessons, and I make a teaching plan and I try really hard to do the plan, but the result is not as good as I hoped. Sometimes I'm very disappointed and upset. Kind of same with the video game. Sometimes you play a video game, you try really hard, and you lose. That makes me upset too. How about you? What makes you upset? 何があなたを怒らせるのですか? All right, YO says, too many tasks make me upset. Me too. It's kind of I would say sometimes when someone gives you more tasks than then it's like possible to do, that makes me upset too. All right. So that's a good example. YO. 何があなたを怒らせるのですか? What makes you upset? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. What makes you upset? Okay, Charming says, sometimes I feel angry. Great sentence. And so the question is, what makes you feel angry? Yes. 何があなたを怒らせるのですか? チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. What makes you upset? For me, as I was saying, like when I get a disappointing result, and I work really hard, that makes me upset, makes me angry. I think, it's very natural. But how about you? What makes you upset? 何があなたを怒らせるのですか? Okay, Takeshi says, a coworker who acts irresponsibly at work makes me angry. That would make me very angry too. Yes. I'm sorry to hear that. But yes, someone who acts irresponsibly at work, that's no good. Sorry to hear that. But good English, nice sentence. What makes you upset? 何があなたを怒らせるのですか? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. All right, Charmin says, other person's words. Example, bad, dirty words. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that, Charmin, but yes, sometimes you don't want to hear bad, dirty words. I agree. Okay. B3X. People using their smartphones while walking on the street really makes me upset, especially when I am in a hurry. All right. Nice sentence. Thank you so much for joining tonight's show. Great sentence. I agree. People using their smartphones, that sometimes makes me upset too, because it's dangerous. It is quite dangerous. Okay, great job. All right. Well, let's move on to hi, Bridge. All right. Thank you for joining tonight's show. Hi, Bridge says, I often get angry when I'm short on time and in a hurry. Yeah, that is very stressful and dangerous. Nice sentence, hi, Bridge. Great to see you again. Okay, well now, let's try to write a new question in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに新しい質問を書いてみてください. You have 4 minutes. 4分間あります. Right, we got some great sentences, great examples. That's talking about smartphones. I've lived in Japan a really long time, and so I've become accustomed to having a quiet train, and I love to rest on the train, and so sometimes when people talk on their phones on the train, that makes me upset. Yes. Okay. Well, anyways, Charming's got a new question. What makes you happy? Great question. Well, number one, I would say when my lessons go well, and when my lessons or my show goes well, that makes me happy. How about you, Charming? What makes you happy? Great question. All right, so now you can write a new question in the chat or in the comments. You can write a question about anger, or you can write a question about anything, such as making you happy, which is a great question. チャットまたはコメントに新しい質問を書いてください. All right, YO says, how do you calm down when you get angry? Great question. We will talk, we were talking about that, how breathing, for me, I like to take a deep breath. to calm down when I feel angry. How about you, Wayo? Okay, Charmin says, delicious foods make me happy. Nice idea. I love delicious foods too. Delicious foods are nice. Yeah, I would say delicious foods almost always make me happy as well. But, getting a good result makes me happy. Waking up in the morning, not feeling tired makes me happy. I can wake up in the morning and I have energy. I feel very happy. All right. Always ask yes/no questions like, do people talking on the phone on the train make you upset? Okay. All right. Takesh says, are you ever angry when you watch the news? Great question. Yes, I am angry a lot when I watch the news. So recently, I would say maybe in the last, maybe last 9 years, I've cut down on watching the news a lot. How about you, Takesh? Are you ever angry when you watch the news? I'm sure, many people are. So it's crazy. For me, I think it's not healthy to watch the news for me because it makes me angry. So I don't want to watch the news much. But great question. Nice question, Takesh. Okay, well, if you're still typing, please continue and you can share your new questions in the chat or in the comments anytime. But now let's move on to the last question of tonight's show, which is, what is the trick to reducing anger? 日本語で怒りを抑えるコツは何ですか? What is the trick to reducing anger? So for me, my trick to reducing anger is taking a good rest during the day, especially when I ride the train. Taking a rest on the train is very good for me to reduce my anger. But how about you? What is the trick to reducing anger? 怒りを抑えるコツは何ですか? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. You have 4 minutes. 4分間あります. What is the trick to reducing anger? 怒りを抑えるコツは何ですか? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. I guess another trick is to eat healthy meals so you don't feel hungry all the time. I think if you're hungry, sometimes you have a higher chance to be angry. All right, Charming says, my trick to reducing anger is moving other situation, other place. Good advice, especially on the train, like if someone's talking on the phone next to you, sometimes it's best to just move to another place. Nice trick. It's like if you're angry at home, sometimes it's good to take a walk. Go outside, get some fresh air. And maybe same at work too, at the office. So what is the trick to reducing anger? 怒りを抑えるコツは何ですか? Please write your answer in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに答えを書いてください. As I was saying, for me, I think that, two of the big tricks are taking a rest, like resting well. So you don't feel, because when you feel tired, it's much easier to become angry. And another one too is eating healthy food, so you're not hungry all the time, or just not super hungry. Those are, if you're hungry, sometimes it's very easy to get angry. So those are my two tricks. But how about you? What is your trick to reducing anger? あなたの怒りを抑えるコツは何ですか? Okay, YO says watching the favorite drama is the trick to reducing anger. Yeah, some people, for some people, dramas are good, and for some people, movies are good. Yeah, great. Grandma K says eat well and do things that make you happy. I definitely agree with that eat well part. Eating well is very important. I love food with sugar, but food like high in sugar, it's very dangerous because you can feel, at first you might be happy, but then down, and then you're like, eat more sugar, up, and then down. So food high in sugar is quite dangerous. So eating well, lots of healthy food, and maybe some food with sugar is always nice. Okay, B3X it is said that taking a deep breath and counting the numbers 1, 2, 3 slowly can reduce anger. Yes, I think so too. I love taking a deep breath. I agree. And counting is good too. Nice advice. Okay, well, let's move on to the last section of tonight's show. So now, please write a new question in the chat or in the comments. チャットまたはコメントに新しい質問を書いてください. You have 4 minutes. 4分間あります. Okay, this is the last chance to write a new question in the chat or in the comments. As always, you can write a question about the topic of tonight's show, which is anger, or you could write a question about anything. So please enjoy using English or Japanese. For me, I think a great food for reducing anger is tofu. I think, having a lot of tofu for lunch is a great food to make your stomach satisfied for a long time. How about you? That's what food do you think is good for reducing anger? That's my new question. But now, please write your new question in the chat or in the comments. 今、チャットまたはコメントにあなたの新しい質問を書いてください。If this is your first time to join the show and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We do this show every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Japan Standard Time. So, yeah, it's great to have new people join the show. New people are always welcome, and it's always great to have other people join the show too. And people come back. Like Charming says, tofu is very good for our health. I love tofu. Me too. When I eat at home, I almost always add tofu to my food. Outside home, I don't often eat tofu, but at home, like every time I eat, I add tofu, almost. If you have a question you want to try to ask, please let me know in the chat or in the comments. 新しい質問があれば、ぜひチャットまたはコメントに書いてください。All right, Takesh says, is there a way to hide anger from showing on your face? Great question. For me, usually I think it's not healthy to hide your anger. If you're angry, it's kind of natural, and you don't need to hide your anger much. But I think it's best to, if you're really angry and you want to calm down, try to breathe. Take a deep breath to relax and calm down. It's always good. Great question, Takesh. Grandma K says, I try to let AI listen to your complaints. No one will be uncomfortable. Oh, funny. Nice idea, Grandma K. Nice idea. Okay, well, great job. If you're still typing, please continue, and you can share your new questions in the chat or in the comments anytime. But for now, that's the end of tonight's show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you haven't already, the Let's Speak English and Nihongo conversation practice live stream is every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Japan Standard Time. So, if you haven't already, please subscribe and give the show a big thumbs up. Thank you, Charming. Thank you so much for joining tonight. And thank you, YO. Hope you guys have a great night too. Yes, and I hope everyone has a great night. So, I will see you next time. また近いうちに会いましょう. So till then, good night.